family, how's your flight last night? Great. Are you excited for today's trip? Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you for choosing La Naturaleza Tours. My name is Laika, your tour guide, and this is Mr. Juarez, our travel operator, and I'm here to welcome you all to the Holy Land, Israel. Before we begin the trip, there are basic rules that must be followed for everyone's safety. First, synchronize your time with ours so you didn't get lost or left behind. Second, I have flag and whistle and information tag for your children in case they get lost or being separated to us, so keep an eye out. Third, always dispose your trash properly. And last, in case of emergency, we have first aid kit here in my bag, and if you need help with anything with information or direction to the bathroom, I'm happy to assist you. Please don't hesitate to ask. So, this is it. Let's go for our first destination, Jerusalem. Welcome to the Garden of Gethsemane. The tranquility of olive trees have been there for 100 of years. The New Testament names the Garden of Gethsemane near to the fruit of Mount Olive that has been location where Jesus went to pray with his disciple the night before he was crucified. When visiting the Holy Land today, the old trees surrounded by the green flower beds, nonetheless, there have been olive groves that were olive oil pressed. Gethsemane in Greek would have been placed where Jesus traversed this area. So let's tour around in the secret place of Garden of Gethsemane. gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to the old city of Jerusalem. For those who are interested for religious history and culture, the old city of Jerusalem is a particularly fascinating region, and the old city of Jerusalem is split into four unequal sectors within the walls: Muslim, Christians, Armenian, and Jewish, which has long held numerous symbolic value. This is the old portion of the city was studded with shrines and attractions sacred to Jews, Christians, and Muslims, and is characterized by small twisting alleys and alleyways. The Muslim quarter is the largest and most inhabited quarter of Jerusalem Old City. It in the northwest part of the country, the Dome of Rock, one of the city's 220 ancient monuments, stand out. It was established in 7th century and embellished with magnificent geometric floral themes, and the three faiths identify its place of Abraham's sacrifice. The Wailing Walls divide in the religious group sections, while Christ's tomb is housed in Resurrection Rotunda of Church of Holy Sepulchre. From the period of Judean kings and the Roman era to Islamic Empire and the contemporary state of Israel, the house city of Jerusalem has been center of culture, religion, history of 1,000 years, every brick of stone and imbuing with history. So tourists, let's tour around the amazing place of old city of Jerusalem.
Known as
Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Since we are here in the Old City, let's turn once in the famous Church of Christian, the Church of Holy Sepulchre. The Church of Holy Sepulchre is also known as Church of Resurrection. It's a basilica Christian quarter of Old Jerusalem that covers what Christians believe that this site is the most important event in human history. It also believed that this site is of the church where the traditional location of Jesus' crucifixion, also known as Golgotha or Calvary, as well as the location of his empty tomb where he was buried and resurrected. Since the 4th century, the Church of Holy Sepulchre has been must-see for the land of tourists especially, and it was the holiest Christian site in the planet. The tourists, let's tour around to the holiest place, the Church of Holy Sepulchre. now and let's proceed to our next destination. For the last trip for today's adventure, I'll welcome you all to the Dead Sea. Dead Sea or Salt Sea is the lowest point of the world. Slather yourself in the dark mud and spend a day for floating in the salt sea, over 8 times saltier than the ocean. Floating in that sea makes you float as you're put the lifesaver vest and feeling that you won't able to get anywhere else in the world. In the combination of mud, salt, and heat is throughout purify the body and exfoliate your skin, an experience unoffered at your everyday spa. Precaution: you only have 5 to 10 minutes to swim due to the high risk of dehydration and other complications. So tourists enjoy. Did everyone enjoy the trip today? Great. Let's have dinner and rest and see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for today's trip. We're going to Eilat, Israel to experience another amazing adventure and learn new things about how amazing Israel is. Without further ado, let's go! Welcome to Red Canyon. The Red Canyon in the Eliad Mountains is one of Israel's most beautiful yet accessible hiking trails. The Red Canyon gets its name from a phenomenon which occurs when sunlight hits the reddish rock that aligns the canyon. The rock is verified in color Winchester in shade of white and yellow. The descent leads down to the riverbed and there is then short fun trails leading to the second track. The back trail is more challenging descent down into the second crack. Walking through the second crack, you will reach the large rock that projects from the riverbed. So tourists, seize the moment of your first time here in Red Canyon. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to Coral Beach Nature Reserve. Coral Beach Nature Reserve is a protected area boasting a beautiful coral reef and abundant marine life, and that place we decided to visit ourselves. The Red Sea has reputation for being one of the best snorkeling spots in the world, so here we are, pretty curious about what experience will be like. While visiting Coral Beach Nature Reserve is pretty easy, there will still someone things that you should know about this place before you go. This is why you put together this travel guide. Tourists, let's go dive towards the serenity gives the Coral Beach Nature Reserve. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to Negev Desert. Camel rides in Israel offers unique way to explore landscape of Negev Desert. Riding a camel is a unique experience and which one you unlikely to never forget. And whether better to do it than its authentic setting that is the desert. Several camel farms across the Negev offers the opportunity to take camels in Israel in safe surroundings and of course with friendly camels. Camel rides in Israel are possible at several ranches of the Negev Desert. A huge range of the different experience is available, from rides to manage the tours out of the desert last for 1 hour, 2 hour, half day or even longer. So tourists enjoy the camel riding here in the Negev Desert. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to Musical Fountain. During the day, you will be able to enjoy the cooling water jets, which looks like they will give a popular teddy park in Jerusalem a run for its money. While in the evening, you can able to enjoy the spectacular fountain show, which includes 350 water jets reaching the heights of 10 to 30 meters and illuminated with 430 LED lights. A musical fountain in Isla is the new and exciting attraction in the city. During the day, you can enjoy the running through the cold water, not just kids. At the night, you're able to mesmerize its auto-visual show and spectacular colors and the view of the city. So tourists enjoy the night of the musical fountain. I guess everyone has a great day today for their second tour here in Israel. So let's have dinner and rest and have a great day. Good day! For today's trip, we're going to Tel Aviv in Israel. And what we're waiting for? Let's go! Welcome in Tel Aviv Museum of Art. The Tel Aviv Museum of Art in Israel, the largest art museum with an impressive collection of permanent and temporary exhibits. The museum opened in 1932, even before the State of Israel was established, and the new wing opened in 2011. The museum showcased both Israeli and international artists, including Impressionism and Post-Impressionism pieces. Permanently on the display include the works of Cezanne, Chagall, Dali, Monet, Henry Moreau, Justin Morodin, Archie Penko, Picasso, Clement, and Kandinsky. If you plan to visit just one traditional museum art here in Israel, make the Tel Aviv Museum of Art with amazing art of this museum. So, tourists, let's tour around in the Tel Aviv Museum of Art. Let's go. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to Hatakana of Tel Aviv, the old railway station. Hatakana, the Hebrew name of the old Java railway station, has been transformed into one of the Tel Aviv smart public spaces, located between the Tel Aviv beach and Neve Tzedek. The first city Jewish neighborhood to be formed outside the ancient Java of becoming lively and trendy neighborhood to renovated pastel houses, designer, boutiques, and cafe, especially along the Shabazi Street, which ends where the Hatakana complex begins. Hatakana has been brilliant selection of cafes, restaurants, and interesting boutiques ranging from fashion, of course, to wooden gems and all the inevitably realistic historic settings. Tourists have a moment of enjoying the historic setting of Hatakana. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to Photo House. Thankfully, this trail impressive progression has been documented, and the Photo House archives are there proven. First opened the Allen By Street in 1939, the Photo House has been massive collection of negative numbering of close to million images. And today's the shop house is one of the country's most monumental private archives of the historical photographs, recounting the story of Israel's past and the bursting of nostalgia. For those searching for a unique gift, and any images can be bound to their huge poster, magnets, and more. Take a look and be mesmerized by the incredible photo house in Tel Aviv. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. To Halton Hill, Independence Park. Independence Park is at western end of the Hayarkon Street in Old North of Tel Aviv. The first trees were planted on Israel's first Independence Day in 1949. The official opening was 1952. In 2009, the park was renovated as part of Tel Aviv Centennial Anniversary celebration. The site on which the park now stands was formerly Limestone Hill. During the British Mandate the area was used to military base. The Itzal-shaped Altelena was fired upon this location. amazing day, and then I hope everyone enjoys the Tel Aviv tour. See you next day and have a nice day. Good day, are you excited to complete the amazing tour here in Israel? I bet you are. So what are we waiting for? Let's go! Welcome to Nazareth, the Church of Annunciation. The Catholic claims that this is the place of Mary's heavenly conversation with Gabriel is one wonder, but the site itself has been occupied by religious building. According to Catholic tradition, the location of this church is not only where the Annunciation said has been occurred, but also where Mary lived. At the lower level of church, you will find the grotto of the Annunciation, which is thought to be remains of Mary's childhood home. The modern church visitors see today the sizable to striking a building that has the largest Christian church when it was complete in 1967. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to Synagogue Church. The church incorporates the crucible building believed to be the site of synagogue in the church preach. This simple stone room in the plain of altar invokes the gospel account, in which Jesus read the messianic passage in Isaiah 61. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and proclaimed that it was fulfillment of this promise. The initial response was favorable, but when Jesus indicated that the proclamation of the good news was to include of Gentiles, his hearers enraged and tried to throw up of the high cliff. So tourists, let's go tour around the wonderful church of Synagogue Church. Tourists, gather around. Let's proceed to our next destination. Welcome to Luna Arabic Bistro, where we're going to make freke dish, the famous dish here in Nazareth. The cereal-based dish is made from green durum wheat that is first roasted, then rubbed to create telltale texture and rich, smoky flavor. So what better place to learn how to cook this local grain than in Nazareth itself? Luckily for the building chef and cooks, there are plenty places where you can take a cooking class in the city, especially in Luna Arabic Bistro. The practice making of this dish has been preserved throughout centuries, so it's great to learn the tradition for yourself and spend relaxing time cooking, chatting with other people, and learning about their other elements of Nazareth cuisine. So Terry, let's go try and make exquisite freke here in Luna Arabic Bistro. I didn't expect time fly by so quickly, but our fascinating tour has come to an end. Do you have any question, clarification, or suggestion? Simply let me know, and I hope everyone had a great time in our trip and learned a lot here in Israel. And I want to thank everyone for choosing La Naturaleza Tour to become part of your whole memorable visit here in Israel. On behalf of Naturaleza, I look forward to seeing you in your future tour here in Israel and further tours. Enjoy the rest of your day here in Israel and travel safely back to your home. And always remember, take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints, and kill nothing but time. Again, this is La Naturaleza Tours. A pleasure to serve you. Bye!